It looked like just another food delivery. Pallets of frozen chicken arriving from the Netherlands, stacked neatly inside refrigerated lorries. But when investigators started digging, they found something that would shock even seasoned officers. Hidden beneath the meat was one of the largest drug importation operations in UK history. 15 tons of cocaine, worth an estimated £1.59 billion. Prosecutors would later call it the biggest case they had ever seen. If you're into real UK crime stories like this, hit subscribe. I post more cases the news barely covers. This case unfolded between September 2021 and December 2022. The network was built in Leeds, West Yorkshire, and stretched all the way to Glasgow. At the centre of it was 31-year-old Stephen Rayner. He wasn't some low-level dealer. He acted as a trusted lieutenant for a cartel boss known only by the alias Fendi. Rayner's role was to oversee the movement of drugs and cash couriers, making sure the shipments made it safely into the UK and into the hands of local distributors. The scale of the operation was staggering. Officers from the Yorkshire and Humber Regional Organised Crime Unit seized 311 kilos of cocaine worth £31 million, 35 kilos of crystal meth worth £7 million, a locked room in Leeds containing cocaine and meth worth another £19 million, and a Dewsbury flat holding 57 kilos of cocaine worth almost £6 million. But as investigators dug deeper, the true size of the conspiracy became clear. This wasn't just hundreds of kilos, this was tons. 318 pallets of chicken had been imported from the Netherlands. Hidden inside them was almost 16 tons of high-purity cocaine, linked directly to a Mexican cartel. A street value of £1.59 billion. This wasn't just another smuggling attempt. It was the largest ever case of its kind in England and Wales. The gang behind it was made up of both family and trusted associates. Stephen Rayner ran the network, but his sister, 30-year-old Sherry Ann Rayner, and her partner, Liam Harrington, 39, turned their Beeston home into a makeshift warehouse. When police searched the house, they found blocks of cocaine and crystal meth stacked next to handwritten notes referencing the Nueva Generación cartel. A locked room in the property contained £19 million worth of drugs, ready for distribution. Harrington helped with logistics, moving stock and preparing consignments, while Sherry Ann kept the home functioning as a central hub. Then there was 23-year-old Megan Budden. She used her flat in Dewsbury as another stash location. Inside, officers recovered 57 kilos of cocaine with a value of £5.8 million. Prosecutors later described her role as crucial in hiding the sheer volume of product moving through the network. Two Scottish members of the gang, Stephen Gibson, 41, and Darren Hunter, 30, acted as couriers. Gibson alone is thought to have driven drugs north from England to Scotland on at least 10 occasions. Hunter was arrested with packages ready for delivery, making it clear the network stretched far beyond Yorkshire. Other players included 39-year-old Tabrez Hussain from Birmingham, who handled unloading duties. His role was to remove cocaine from the boxes, pack them into holdalls, and load them into vehicles. And 24-year-old Brandon Mahon from Dewsbury, who also dealt directly with the packaging and distribution of multi-kilo loads. When the case finally reached Sheffield Crown Court, the sentences reflected the sheer scale of the operation. Stephen Rayner, 20 years. Sherry Ann Rayner, 15 years. Liam Harrington, 3 years. Stephen Gibson, 12 years. Darren Hunter, 6 years. Megan Budden, 2 years. Brandon Mahon, 16 years. And finally, Tabrez Hussain, 17 years. In total, over 58 years of jail time was handed down to the group. Deputy Chief Crown Prosecutor Michael Quinn said, "Motivated purely by greed, these offenders were involved in a sophisticated criminal operation to import and distribute an extortionate amount of Class A drugs into the UK, the largest case the CPS has ever prosecuted." Police later revealed just how professional the setup was. A legitimate Dutch haulage company had unknowingly been transporting the shipments. To them, it was simply frozen chicken. The reality, those lorries were carrying cartel product worth billions. The drugs were then unpacked at a warehouse in Redditch, near Birmingham, and redistributed to different locations. The network operated like a fully functioning business, organised, disciplined, and efficient, until detectives unravelled it step by step. At the heart of it all, prosecutors said, was family loyalty mixed with cartel pressure. Rayner's position as Fendi's lieutenant meant his decisions carried enormous weight. Cherie Ann and Harrington lived with drugs worth millions inside their own home. Budden was only 23 when she agreed to let her flat be used, and the Scottish couriers made trip after trip, risking arrest every time they crossed the border. This wasn't a local gang selling street deals. This was an international pipeline. Cocaine from Mexican cartels, shipped through Europe, arriving in Britain under the cover of frozen chicken. In the end, what looked like an everyday food delivery exposed one of the most ambitious drug conspiracies ever seen in the UK. A billion-pound empire hidden in plain sight, shut down by patient investigation and international cooperation. If you want to hear more real UK crime cases like this, make sure you subscribe.